Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, we've had some interesting news on the Master Universe toy front. They have announced, or they've leaked, some new releases for the cartoon collection. We've got She-Ra, Ram Man, Mantenna, Hordak, Many-Faces, Triclops, Faker, Leech, Catra, Invisible Skeletor, Froster, Buzz-Off, and Modulok. Now, some people are wondering why Modulok's in there because it looks like an Origins figure, but we'll get to that later. I'm pretty excited about this because the cartoon collection is what got me collecting in the first place. I found the Super 7 figures because I had resisted getting the classics and I resisted getting Origins at first, but then I realized that these figures were actually by Super 7, because at first I thought they were the classics figures, which they did some Filmation figures. Then when I realized they were actually from a different company called Super 7 and they're actual 5.5-inch figures, I started getting them. And then once I got them, I thought, well, I'll get some Origins ones, but I'm not going to get all of them, just a couple, just the major characters. And then they started doing the mini comics ones. I started getting them, and then I ended up getting the whole thing, because when I tried to combine the vintage collection with the Origins collection, they didn't really work because the new ones look so much newer, and they just made the vintage ones look bad. And I didn't want to try and collect the vintage ones again and try and get really pristine versions because they were going to cost me a fortune. So I thought I'll just retire the vintage ones, and I'll just sort of collect the Origins ones, and I'll display them separately if I display them, and I won't try and combine them, and that'll be fine. So I've ended up getting most of them. There's a few I've got to get and a few they still have to release, but I feel like at the end I'm going to end up having all the figures again in Origins, so that's fine. Now the Filmation ones, I'm really glad they're doing them as well for the same reason. Now fortunately with Filmation, there were less characters that appeared regularly, because I didn't have the show on video when I was a kid. I got it on DVD as an adult. I saw a lot of episodes when I was a kid, but I didn't really remember them. I only saw them once. The DVDs, I watched them when I was an adult, and I've only seen them a few times, so there's a lot of smaller characters that I'm not really attached to. So if they don't do all those sort of characters, I'm not going to be really upset. I'm not going to be really bothered, as long as they do the main characters. And they've done most of them. Well, we've done a lot of them already. So I reckon we're going to get through all the main characters. Now, so far as some of the new releases, like when they did Origins, for example, I loved the Mantenna. But he had the 4 legs and everything, but he looked just like, the toy, of course, whereas the figure looked a lot different than the Filmation character. So now we've got the pale blue Filmation character with the big yellow eyes and the little mouth and everything. So that's really cool. I'm glad they're doing that. Leech. Now, Leech actually, I feel like the Origins figure actually looks more like the cartoon one and that than some of the others. But he's still the same colours, whereas the Leech from the series was a lot lighter, and the figure's a lot lighter, and he's got a ray gun. But some people are worrying that he's not going to have the proper hands. They're going to keep doing the suction hands, which they had both with this figure. So hopefully we'll see them, because we haven't seen the actual figures displayed. There might be actual accessories that we don't get yet. Speaking of accessories, Catra comes with her cat form, but it's really small. And I'm like, I remember it being quite big, and I'm like, did it ever appear like more cat size, the cartoon? I don't remember, but either way, it would still be cool to have if they don't do a separate figure. Mantenna, like I said, sorry, not Mantenna, Modulok, they're debating should he even be in there, and I'm like, I'm guessing at least one of the combinations of him is going to look like the cartoon version, and that's their way of getting both the Origins and the cartoon collection in the same one. Maybe that's the way they're doing it. I'm really not sure. Buzz-Off, I'm a little bit concerned that his wings are going to be opaque instead of clear. And speaking of clear, the Invisible Skeletor, I don't know what that's from. Ram Man looks more like the actual figure, which is nice, because I never really liked the toy, and the Origins one had some of the same issues. But he's not my favourite character. He's probably the last one I'm going to get. Triclops looks great. Many-Faces, I felt like the comic version was enough. I didn't really need like a cartoon version, but they're doing the cartoon version. I think that's it. And I'm pretty excited because, like I said, they're doing most of the characters. They've gone through a lot of them already, and I feel like I'm going to get all the characters from the cartoons I actually wanted, and then a bunch of extras. And if I don't get them all, or if they don't do them all, I'll be okay. Still a little concerned they're not going to finish off all the Origins figures. They say they will, so I'm just going to trust them. But as far as Masterverse, there's a few more, because they're sort of turning that into the classics line now, and they started that with the Skeletor from the 40th anniversary, because I got the movie ones, of course, and then instead of the classics ones, because they're more expensive. And then once I did that, I got the 40th anniversary, and then I had to have a Skeletor to go with that, so I got a Skeletor. And then I like the Jitsu, so I got the Jitsu, and it's like, well, do I get the Fisto? I haven't got him yet, but I kind of feel like I need him. And I kind of ended up getting the Catra because I knew I was going to get the She-Ra to go with the He-Man, and I figured I'm just going to get a few of them, not going to get all of them, but they made that decision easy for me because they've transferred it in now into like the vintage line, so they're not really continuing the Masterverse line on that level, so they are going to be different. I think they're not going to do all of them in that sort of different style anymore, so I don't have to worry about buying them all again in that style. I'm just going to get a couple of the Masterverse ones, and then probably some of the vintage ones that are going to come out as well. But I feel excited for the continued Filmation line, just to see more of them, and I feel like we're actually going to get all the ones we actually want. I'm pretty happy about that because, like I said, that's what got me back into collecting the Master Universe figures, more so than Origins. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the new releases, the new leaks and everything, and I just can't wait to actually get them. I just hope they don't come out too quick, so I've actually got time to get them, and it's not like I'm trying to catch up like I was with Origins for ages.